All right, I am in New York City and I'm being a complete tourist today. I went to Grand Central, took some shots there. I've been walking around some of the more popular blocks. There's a great little spot if you're ever in New York, Bryant Park. And Bryant Park is, everyone goes to Central Park, but Bryant Park is a nice place where you can kind of have a little bit of a picnic. You can sit out and just people watch. So it was kind of nice to walk around, and haven't been to Bryant Park in a long time, so that was kind of cool. Hey guys, Omar from the future here. I thought I would chime in on some of the photographs and what I was thinking, because I didn't really do too much of that on the street. I find that I'm kind of distracted when I'm recording on the street and talking to myself. I'm not really myself, and I just feel everyone staring at me, and so I think this might be a little better. Just chiming in a little bit during this video might be more useful to some of you. So here what I was thinking was just total symmetry. I was just thinking, hey, the three umbrellas right in the center, almost like three paint splotches. Also, this is an example of something I've been working on a little bit more, which is photographing like little scenes, almost as if they're paintings. I'm finding this is a little bit more interesting to me as opposed to photographing individual people that are just on their phones on the street or just walking on the street. Now you will see that in this video because there were people that were interesting, but I found that I'm getting bored of just, street photography of people just walking. So I'm trying to work a little harder on that for myself. I also brought along the 135mm, which was just a fun lens to shoot, just to take pieces of the scene, like this fountain. I love the colors of it. And the 5D Mark II just did a great job of, with its colors and contrast, it just did a great job. Here, we're still in Bryant Park with the 135mm. On the left, I saw these nice little flowers, but I just lined up this woman, and she was more interesting than the flowers, So to me, it told a little bit of a story. And I could have moved back and had her sneaker not be cut off. I realized that, but it was just a quick grab. And then the other woman sort of matched the entire scene. That's what interested me there. She matched the umbrellas, her green that she was wearing, her beige matched a lot of the beige. And so I saw her coming along and she kind of just fit into the scene really well. Here I turned to the right and I saw this beautiful building. And so I just grabbed this quick shot with the 35mm. But then I slapped on the 135 and did my first slices of New York. We talked about this in the past where with a long lens, you could grab a piece of the scene. And so I think this works kind of cool. The only thing I probably would have done better is focused more on the trees. I think I focused on the building because my thought was that the trees would sort of be like abstract things in the foreground. But looking at it now, I think maybe I would have liked it in reverse. A black and white and a color with the 5D Mark II. I love the color that comes out of the 5D Mark II, so I shoot mostly in color, but I wanted to try one black and white. I did in post-processing. Personally, I think this is just a less stressful way of doing street photography. It's not street photography in the sense of you're capturing incredible moments. It's more like just scenes, paintings of where you live or the city. And I find this is a lot more relaxing. And I think for my personality, walking around the streets, I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want confrontation. So I'm enjoying these scenes, these little paintings of New York. Now, when the situation does arise and I see someone interesting, for example, these nuns having lunch, for me, were like, whoa, nuns don't eat in the church. They're out in Bryant Park. I love it. So I had the 135 on here, and I decided to quickly take a shot between the fence. So that right there was a nice little scene. And these two people walking, they didn't see me, and I kind of missed the moment. But prior to this, the woman on the right was laughing as she was looking at the man walking. And so this is kind of the moment after. There's also a man walking in the scene, which I don't really love. But the 135 at f2, just the bokeh is so beautiful, and the scene is really nice. So I liked the picture, but I missed the moment. So it's kind of a little bit of a fail. Now here's a little bit of a street photography moment. This one bike was out of place, and so this woman kind of semi-stopped while she was walking. She slowed down to just stare at this bike that was hanging out there. So I kind of caught the moment. Luckily, I had the 135 on. And this one right here, I mean, this is kind of what I'm getting sick of, is just people walking on the street. But I'll allow myself to take the photograph if there's some interest or maybe a little bit of a story. So here we have, in the future, I could imagine us being like, oh my God, all these Amazon, everything was Amazon packages. And this is an Amazon delivery person. And also, I think the store window in the background is kind of like maybe the faceless people that are waiting for their packages, or, you know, how it could be a message of we are just so much into commercialism and products. And so, yeah, going deep into a photograph here, but I think that this works for me as opposed to just someone walking on the street looking at their phone. I want to work again harder on finding characters like these two. These are like classic old New Yorkers that have lived here their whole life, waiting for the bus. And they just, I mean, their clothes, and, you know, they're out like for, you know, running errands. And they were in front of this interesting sort of little grocery store. So I thought that was a cool picture. I love those red pants. Love those red pants. Now here's a shot of nothing. I was kind of waiting for someone to pass by or something interesting. I put it in here to sort of, you know, just remind myself that, you know, you could like a picture and not know why you like it. So I kind of like this picture. I don't know why, though. It's like the balls are like Pokeballs, or, you know, that there's stuff happening in the background that you can't see, or the subway or the fence. So somehow the lines, this to me works. I don't know why, but I kind of like it. So I'm here in like a place where I could talk, because it's just Midtown Manhattan is just always so crowded and so noisy. It's still noisy here. I'm sure you can't hear me. But I am shooting with the 5D Mark II, being a super tourist with a big DSLR. I'm sure I stick out like a sore thumb, but it's been really fun. I mean, the funnest thing, is that a word, funnest? Has been using the optical viewfinder, but also it just slows you down. So I'm looking at my exposure needle. I'm sort of deciding if I want to underexpose by 1, or it just brings me back to when I first started. So if a scene is kind of bright, or this, you know, like there's a bright building, I know I want to overexpose by 1 stop, or it's very cool. So I've been having a lot of fun, and there's people coming, so I'm leaving. Hey, it's me again. Throughout my walk, I slapped the 135 on and started working on one of my goals for this year is to capture slices of New York. And so this is a little bit of an abstract sort of lines and shapes, which I like. One thing I do on the computer, which I did with this shot, is also, since I'm shooting up sometimes at windows, I will straighten up the building a little bit just to, you know, create these 2 stripes of windows. So I do change the perspective in post if I need to. This one I didn't do that to, but this is another little slice of a church. And it's cool that, look at the filmic quality, guys, of the of the tree in the foreground. It's got a little bit of grain to it. And here I just kind of like that spring is a riot. If it was the summertime, you couldn't get this picture because there would be all kinds of green everywhere. But maybe that would be better. It would you would just see the statues in the background. This is a shot I've done so many times that I'm kind of sick of it, but it is a slice of New York. And this one was actually taken in Hoboken, but this guy was washing the windows. I thought it was Spider-Man when I first looked up, but I love that he's just a little dot in one of the slices of my photographs. Anyway, I was saying, I've been having a good time shooting with the DSLR because it's been slowing me down, but I'm sure I have a lot of missed shots because that's one of the reasons that I remember upgrading the 5D Mark II. It was because of the autofocus, but I'm shooting with a single focus point and just taking my time, which also slows you down. I'm using the pre-focus method, which we talked about in the past. Man, the smells in New York. I smell meat, pot, and sewage. It's wonderful. I actually started in Hoboken, New Jersey this morning. That's where I parked my car. And there was this beautiful fog. And I know I wanted to get like this misty sort of morning vibe. Anywho, 2 lenses. I have the 35mm f2. Someone yelling, of course. There's all kinds of people that yell on the street. Oh, look at this, guys. Look at this. Wow, look at these old... Complete strategist. If you're into board games in New York. I am on 33rd Street, headed back to the path. I actually, every time I make a YouTube video, I actually come out and shoot first. To see, you know, just to make sure that I can actually, I do photograph. And so I've been photographing, and oh, I see another nice shot over here. Look at all this city bikes and pizza. Oh yeah. Here are a couple of other scenes I photographed. Just again, I'm very excited about this whole scenes of New York thing. This is ugly New York on the left. There was construction going on. You can almost hear the noise in this photograph. And by the way, I don't love Midtown and Times Square. Like, though, if you're a New Yorker, you've lived around here for a long time, you avoid those areas. They're just so crowded and so noisy, and there's tourists. So it's funny that I came here on purpose just to sort of grab, you know, I wanted to do some of these scenes, and these scenes are easier in more crowded places. So the one on the right is near Grand Central Station, 42nd Street on the east side, and there's just people kind of sitting around, but I like it. I like that it's just a little slice during lunchtime where people are sitting out. So I'm very excited again to shoot more scenes of New York with the 35mm. This is the misty morning in Hoboken, and I took this quick grab just to show the mist here, but actually I like the vertical. It's a little bit more minimalistic and nice, and it just has a cool filmic quality to it. This one also shows off the 5D Mark II and the quality that you can get from the combo, the 135, and I just think it's beautiful. And then here I was like lined up with the scene here with a cool foreground and a cool background, and no one interesting went by. This is the best I got. Dude with coffee, you know, so sometimes it doesn't work out. And here's a cool little scene. You know, this were like 3 teachers with a little classroom of daycare students, and they've got all their little orange vests on, and I just love that, you know, these kids are kind of like little chain gang, you know, being pulled. But what's funny is I don't like photographing children, you know, and showing their faces in photographs. I feel like they're stealing, you know, someone's child kind of thing. But I like it here because you can't really see any of the kids, but you get what's going on in this nice little scene. Okay, I am actually back in my car, back in New Jersey. It's so loud in New York. I didn't even think that you guys were hearing me, so I decided to come back to New Jersey, the quiet side. So back to shooting with the 5D Mark II. I had so much fun with it, and I think if you have an old DSLR, you know, maybe take it out and try it before you try, you know, sell it or get rid of it, because I just know, looking at the back of the camera, that some of these images have just such a great quality to them. And it was just really fun to slow down and all that good stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you guys next time.